Welcome to our second lesson. At Brand Institute of Forensics and Security. We are talking about strategic management, and we shall be talking about process elements of strategic management. Process elements of strategic management. I am confident that you learned something in the first lesson where we were talking about introduction to strategic management, and I hope that we are reading from the same page. Once again, we are happy for you joining us, and we are confident that we will move on in the right direction. We are going to talk about strategic management. However, before we go into the processes, first we are going to do some review of what is management itself. What is management itself? Things we frequently use become so familiar with time that when asked to describe them, we often struggle to find an adequate response. Things that we frequently use become so familiar with time that when asked to describe them, we often struggle to find a solution. And sometimes, after due consideration, we have to admit we are not sure at all and quickly look it up. This is common with objects, but also with theoretical concepts. Management is one of them. Management is certainly one of such of a familiar concept. We practice, we discuss, we teach it on a daily basis, but mostly do so without questioning the concept. Because management is with us on a daily basis. From everything that we do, management is with us. It's a concept that is very familiar to us until we are now used to it. Definitions. Like any concept, management can be defined in different ways. It should be noted that books and articles on practical management and empirical research rarely define management at all. In contrast, most textbooks used in management education do. Management is the art of getting things done through and with people in formally organized groups. The art of creating an environment in such an organized group where people can perform as individuals and yet cooperate towards attaining of group goals. The art of removing blocks to such performance. The art of optimizing efficiency in effectively reaching goals. And this is Kuntz, 1961, page 186, one of the authors or one of the scholars of management practice. Another definition also relates to management, refers to manage is to forecast and to plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate, and to control. To foresee and provide means examining the future and drawing up the plan of action. To organize means building up the dual structure, material and human, of the undertaking. To organize, to command means maintaining activity among the personnel. To coordinate means binding together, unifying and harmonizing all activity and effort. To control means seeing that everything occurs in conformity with established rule and expressed command. Henry Fayol, another leading scholar on the practice of management. Levels of management. Management can be defined as the process of planning, organizing, directing, controlling, organizing resources, human, financial, physical, and information in the pursuit of organizational goals. Dunham Pierce, 1989, page 6. Levels of management include upper management. In upper management, we have CEO, group financial managers, we have stakeholders, we have a vice president of marketing. Upper management mostly involves of the top executive. And then we have the middle management. Middle management will involve the other groups, and you can see from the slide which people are involved in the middle management. And then we have lower level management. Lower level management will mainly be composed of supervisors and team leaders who manage teams. So these are the levels of management. We have upper management, middle management, and then we have lower level management. Now, importance of management. What is the importance of management? No enterprise can survive without management, even if it possesses huge money, the best machinery, expert manpower, etc. Because without management, it will all be confusion. Nobody will know what to do. So we can say management is an aspect of organizing people, coordinating people, bringing people together in a teamwork so they know what to do. Management guides and controls the activities of manpower for maximum utilization of company resources. Managers provide new ideas and vision to the organization to do better. The manager provides stability to the company by changing and modifying the resources in accordance with the changing environment of the society. Management helps personality develop, thereby raising efficiency and productivity. Management helps personality development, thereby raising efficiency and productivity. Again, in view of the above definitions, three definitory elements continue to occur. The first one is Henry Fayol's 1916 task catalog of planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling, with commanding replaced by leading in modern definitions. In modern definitions, we don't talk about commanding. Commanding is applicable in the military sense, military setup. Commanding has been replaced by leading in modern definitions of management. The second element is utilizing people, or less constrained resources in general, accordance to a popular quote often attributed to Mary Parker Foreland. Management is the art of getting things done through people. Management is the art of getting things done through people. That one is very interesting. And then the third recurring element is that management aims to achieve results or goals, the letter of which is never specified. Management aims to achieve results or goals, the letter of which is never specified. So, concept of management. Let's look at the concept of management. The concept of management. Management is an executive act that actively directs the human effort to a common goal. The main role of management is to apply the knowledge and analytical approaches developed by various other disciplines. Management is the follower of administration. It gets a salary or part of the profit in lieu of its service. Management does not frame politics. It only implements the politics laid down by the administrator. Planning, organizing, staffing, motivating, directing, coordination, and control are all the functions of management. So if you are asked what are the functions of management, then you must be able to quickly come up with an answer related to motivating, directing, staffing, coordination, control, etc. Management is considered as an art as well as a science. Management is considered as an art as well as a science. Levels of management, we have already seen it there in the figure, but let's again go deep a little bit. Managerial or top level management. Top level of management consists of board of directors, managing director, chief executive officer. Their main responsibility is planning and coordinating. Top level managers are accountable to the stakeholders and the general public. And then we have executive or middle level management, involves the general managers, branch managers, and department managers are known as middle level managers. Their main role is the directional and managerial function of an organization. Implementation of policies and plans as per the directive of top management. And then we have supervisor or operative level management. Supervisor, foreman, the first line managers are at this level. Their main role is to distribute jobs and responsibilities to a variety of workers. They are directly responsible to the quality and number of products. top level management, middle level management, and operative level management. Process elements of strategic management. At least we have spoken something little about management itself. And we have seen that management involves directing, coordinating, leading people, even the other aspects of motivating people, all those things to achieve a common goal. All those are related to management. So the strategic management process can be broadly divided into three phases. We are now back to strategic management. Each phase consists of a number of steps. The three phases are as follows. Number one is strategy formulation. Strategy formulation. Number two, strategy implementation. After we formulate the strategy, then we have to implement the strategy. And then after we implement the strategy, we have to do strategy evaluation. Strategy evaluation. We have to evaluate the strategy as we move along to confirm that we are online. Strategy formulation. Strategy formulation can also be referred to as strategic planning. The strategy formulation involves the following steps. One, framing mission and objectives. So the organization must first frame missions and objectives. The first step in the formulation of a strategy is to frame mission and objectives of the firm. What are the mission and objectives of the firm? The mission states the philosophy and the purpose of the organization. The objectives are the aims or ends which the organization seeks to achieve. The mission and objective must be clearly defined. What are the objectives? What do we intend to achieve as an organization? This must be clearly defined. Then number two stage for strategy formulation is analysis of the internal environment. After setting the objectives or goals, the management needs to make an analysis of the internal environment. The analysis of the internal environment may be done prior to setting of objectives. The internal environment refers to manpower, machines. What do we have in place? What are our assets, basically, and other resources of the organization? A proper analysis of the internal environment reveals strengths and weaknesses of the organization. And then we have analysis of the external environment. The management must conduct an analysis of external environment. Now, external environment. The external environment refers to government, consumers, technological development, and other environmental factors that affect the organization. A proper analysis of the external environment reveals opportunities and threats. So you see, there must be an analysis of both the internal and the external environment to see which are the threats, the opportunities, the weaknesses of the organization, so that now a strategy can be formulated. And then gap analysis. The management also conducts gap analysis for this purpose. The management must compare and analyze its present performance level and the desired future performance level. Such a comparison would reveal the extent of the gap that exists between the present performance and the future expectation of the organization. If there is a sufficient gap, the management must think of suitable measures. And then framing alternative strategies. After making a SWOT analysis of the gap analysis, the management needs to frame alternative strategies to accomplish the objectives of the firm. So alternative strategies. So there is the main strategy, but then there are alternative of strategies that if something happened on the way and we are unable to achieve our goal depending on the strategy that we had formulated, then we can deviate and go to the alternative strategy. There is a need to frame alternative strategies, as some strategies may be put on hold and other strategies may be implemental. And then choice of strategies. The organization cannot implement all the alternative strategies. Therefore, the firm must be selective. The organization must select the best strategy depending upon the situation. Before selecting the best strategy, the organization needs to conduct a cost-benefit analysis of the alternative strategies. The strategy which gives the maximum benefits at minimum cost will be selected. And then strategy implementation. That is 2. The strategies are formulated for each and every functional department, such as production, marketing, finance, and personnel. Once the strategies are formulated, then the next stage is implemented of such strategies. The strategy implementation involves the following elements. So, strategy implementation involves the following elements. And we see strategies are formulated for every department: finance, security, HR, whatever. So these departments each formulate their own strategy, and then these strategies are put together, and then it is discussed, and then a single now strategy is put into implementation stage. So the strategy implementation involves the following elements. Number one, formulation of plans, programs, and projects. There is a need to frame plans, programs, and projects. Strategy by itself does not lead to action. For instance, if expansion strategy is formulated, then various types of expansion plans need to be formulated. An expansion plan would involve expansion in production capacities of existing product and or development and production of new products plans, resulting in different kinds of programs. A program is a broad plan which includes goals, policies, procedures, and outer aspects required to implement a plan. Programs lead to the formulation of project, which is a specific program for which time, schedule, and cost are predetermined. Time and cost must be predetermined in formulating projects. Again, number two is project implementation. A project passes through, we are still on strategy implementation. So on strategy implementation, we talk about project implementation. A project passes through various stages before the actual implementation. The various phases include concept phase, where the idea are generally generated for future projects. Definition phase, where primarily analysis of the project is undertaken. Planning and organizing phase, where the planning and organizing of resources required to undertake the project is discussed. And then implementation phase, where details of the implementation of the product, such as awarding contracts, other placement, etc., are decided. And then cleanup phase, which deals with disbanding the project infrastructure and banding over the plant to the operating personnel. Which deals with the disbanding the project infrastructure and handing over the plant to the operating personnel. And then also we have procedural implementation. The organization needs to be aware of the regulatory framework of the regulatory government authorities before implementing strategies. The regulatory elements to be reviewed are as follows: regulation in respect of foreign technology, foreign collaboration procedures, government disaster response regulations, capital issue guidelines, foreign trade regulations, etc. These are procedural implementation. These need to be put in place. Licensing and inspections by the government to confirm that the strategy is complies with international laws for environmental protection, human rights protection, for such kind of situations. And then resource allocation, resources, money. It deals with the arrangement of commitment of physical, financial, and human resources to various activities so as to achieve organizational goals. Remember, resources also involves also manpower, human resource, manpower. The strategies need to allocate resources to various divisions, departments, etc. The resources need to be allocated depending upon the importance of activities in each of the departments or divisions. It includes allocation of manpower, machines, tools, money, and other resources for each and every activity. Not all departments receive the same resources. Even not all ministries of the government receive the same resources. There are ministries that are heavily funded. There are ministries that receive low funding, depending on the need and on the objectives and on the operations of the particular department. So there are departments that receive huge finances, and there are departments that receive less finances depending on the objectives of the particular department. Then we say also under strategy implementation, we talk of structural implementation. Organization structure is the framework through which the organization operates. There can be various organization structures for the implementation of strategy. It can be entrepreneurial line structure, which is suitable for small owner manager organization. Functional structure, which is suitable for the multi-department organization. Matrix structure, which is suitable for multi-project product organization. Also, we have functional implementation and strategy implementation. It deals with the implementation of the functional plans and policies. For effective implementation of strategy, strategies have to provide direction to functional managers regarding the plans and the policies to be adopted. Plans and policies need to be formulated and implemented in all the functional areas such as production, marketing, finance, and personnel. Don't worry, we are going to send you, I'll arrange and then we will give you these notes so that you can read and do research, because the CAT and also the end of semester tests will come from this after we have confirmed that we have guided you accordingly on a strategic management, that when you grow in your career, you can take part in formulating plans and formulating strategies for your particular organization and also implementing them. And then we have behavioral implementation still under strategy implementation. It deals with those aspects of strategy implementation that have an impact on the behavior of strategies in implementing the strategies. It deals with the issues of leadership, corporate culture, behavioral, corporate culture, corporate politics, and use of power, personal values, business ethics, and social responsibility. This is a very important area, especially when we come to government and also when we come to private entities. The use of power, personal values, business ethics, and social responsibility. These are some of the behavioral implementation that are conducted under strategy implementation. Strategy evaluation. Evaluation of the strategy is the phase of strategic management process in which managers try to assure that the strategic choice is properly implemented and is meeting the objectives of the enterprise. So evaluation, it involves the following elements. Setting of standards. The strategies need to establish performance targets, standards, and tolerance limit for the objectives, strategies, and implementation plans. The standard can be established in terms of quantity, quality, cost, and time. Standards need to be definite and they must be acceptable to employees. Standards must be infinite and they must be acceptable to employees. Also, under strategy evaluation, we have measurement of performance. The next step is to measure the actual performance. For this, the manager may ask for performance reports from the employees. The actual performance can be measured both in quantitative as well as qualitative ways. The actual performance also needs to be measured in terms of time and the cost factor. And then number 3 is comparison of actual performance with the standards. The actual performance needs to be compared with the standards. There must be objective comparison of the actual performance against the predetermined targets or standards. Such comparison is required to find out deviations, if any. Also, under strategy evaluation, we have 4 finding out deviations. After comparison, the managers may notice the deviations. For instance, if a particular brand sales targets was 1,000 units for a certain period and the actual sales are only 9,000 units for the period, then the deviations are to the extent of 1,000 units. Then there is analyzing deviations. The deviation must be reported to the higher authorities. The higher authorities analyze the cause of deviations. For this expose, the higher authorities may hold necessary discussions with functional staff. So the higher authorities mainly is the top level management, the board of directors, the stakeholders, the CEO, etc. For instance, the deviation of 1,000 units may be due to poor promotion, faulty pricing, poor distribution, and so on. The exact causes of deviation must be identified. So that is when we talk about strategy evaluation. And then also taking corrective measures. After identifying the cause of deviations, the managers needed to take corrective steps to correct the deviations. At times, there may be a need for resetting of goals and objectives or reframing plans, policies, and standards. The corrective steps must be taken at the right time so as to accomplish the objectives. So, taking corrective measures. Let's look at levels of strategy. What are the levels of strategy? We are still talking about strategic management, and now we are talking about levels of strategy. We have spoken about strategy implementation, we have spoken about strategy evolution. Now we are talking about levels of strategy. The strategy can be broadly classified into three levels. 1. Corporate strategy. 2. Business strategy. 3. Functional or operational strategy. Corporate strategy. It describes a company's overall direction in terms of its general attitude towards growth and the management of its various business and product lines. The corporate strategy typically fits within the three main categories: stability strategy, growth strategy, retrenchment strategy. So we say the corporate strategy fits within stability subcategories: stability strategy, growth strategy, and retrenchment strategy. Most people don't want to hear about this one, retrenchment strategy. I don't know whether it is still existing in Kenya, because there was a time where the government and even corporate entities were retrenching people, giving them some rewards that last only a few days, and then you find yourself in a very difficult situation. That is why it is important for you to grow yourself, so that if you are retrenched, you never know the world the way it is moving. If you never know even if another pandemic is coming. If you are retrenched, then you can quickly say, hey, I took time, I did a CCTV course, I did a security management course, I have done a module in strategic management. I think I'm in a better position to look for something else to do. So it is very important for you to grow your career as you move ahead, because they say the work will continue. Even if you are the best, the work will continue. I worked for organizations where I considered myself to be the best, but I left, and I can see even on social media the organization is still going on, which means that even if I had stayed, my time was up, the organization will continue. So grow yourself. Then corporate strategy. Under corporate strategy, we talk about stability strategy. Firms using stability strategy try to hold on to their current position in the product market. They are in the comfort zone. The firms concentrate on the same products and in the same markets. The stability strategy is followed by those firms which are satisfied with their present position. This strategy is suitable in a single and stable environment. A stability strategy is less risky, as it offers safe business to the organization unless there are major changes in the environment. So there is a stability strategy where companies are in the comfort zone and they want to move on the way they are. They don't want to make any changes in their strategies. Firms using stability strategy try to hold on to their current position in the product market. They are satisfied with the position. They are satisfied with the market share. They are there, they are okay, they are in comfort zone. Then we have also under corporate strategy, growth strategy. It is also called an expansion strategy. When a firm aims to substantially grow. A growth strategy is one that enterprises pursue when it increases its level of objectives upward in significant increment, much higher than an exploration of its past achievement level. The most frequent increase, including a growth strategy, is to raise the market share and/or sales. In order to achieve higher targets than before, a firm may enter into new markets, introduce new product lines, service additional market segments, on and so on. This strategy involves greater effort and risk as compared to stability strategy. The organization must spend on this strategy, and the organization must work very hard to ensure that the growth strategy is working. They have to grow. They have to invest in its people, in its products, grow new line products, and start new type of business, and go into diversity, etc. And then also, under the corporate strategy, we have business strategy. It usually occurs at the strategic business unit level or product level. It emphasizes improvement of the competitive position of a firm's products or service in a specific industry or market segment served by that business unit. There can be two types of business strategy: competitive and cooperative strategy. Unit or firm may try to cooperate with another in production and marketing of goods or services by forming alliances like joint ventures. So this is a business strategy. It usually occurs at the strategic business level or product level. It emphasizes improvement of the competitive position of a firm. And then we have still under the corporate strategy, functional strategy. It relates to the functional areas such as production, marketing, finance, personnel, security, etc. The functional strategy aims of achieving functional objectives will in turn would help to achieve business unit and overall organizational objectives. So there is the functional strategy. And then also we have key elements of strategic management. We have situation analysis, strategy formulation, strategy evolution, strategy implementation. It starts with situational analysis, then strategy formulation, then strategy implementation, and then strategy evolution. Keep those steps in mind. Keep those steps in mind, that those are the steps that we have under strategic management. And then in conclusion, we say strategic management defines the objectives of an organization and all relevant policies and resources for easy implementation. Strategic planning process occurs at the highest level. Top management officials and executives are tasked with devising a corporate strategy for the organization. This is the responsibility of top management to craft the strategic management of the organization. Strategic plans and effective strategic management help provide overall direction for your organization in a competitive environment. This continuous process helps organizations take advantage of the changing environment that comprises various market segments. The strategic management process comprises 4 major elements which serve as steps that guide the development of new strategies to aid strategic